I'm Dee Dee.
And I'm Jen, and this is
Murder on My Street. Okay, Jennifer, it's a hot ass day. What tragedy? Where are we at for the awfulness that you are about to tell me about?
today we are somewhere on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in northwest Montana.
Ooh.
The reservation spans 1.5 million acres.
I thought you were going to say 1.5 miles. I'm like, that's not a lot.
And that would definitely be something that colonizers would do, is give them 1.5 miles of land.
Yeah, exactly.
Here.
And I'm still waiting for my 40 acres, but that's cool.
And a mule.
And a mule.
And a mule.
And a mule. Just give me the cash equivalent at this point. I'm not doing all that.
I thought you were going to say, just give me the mule at this point. Because you're an animal lover.
I need the dollar value for the 40 acres and the mule. I don't want the actual 40 acres and a mule.
And not the dollar today.
Yeah, like
today in this crazy ass rising market.
I know. Houses in my neighborhood are selling for astronomical prices. Like, what? Okay, this is Temecula. Are you sure you want to pay that much to live here?
They're outbidding each other. It's crazy.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be one of those people that like cashes out all the equity, because I'm not about to be upside down when this whole thing bursts.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
People have gone crazy. People have lost their minds.
I'm not moving again. I'm still unpacking boxes, so I'm staying right here. Okay.
So we're going to talk today about the disappearance of Ashley HeavyRunner Loring. But first, HeavyRunner Loring. But first, we need to talk about the disappearances of Native women in the United States. And we need to acknowledge that Native women experience some of the nation's highest rates of murder, sexual violence, and domestic abuse.
My God, it's not talked about enough.
Sexual violence and domestic abuse.
My God, it's not talked about enough.
A report released last year by Sovereign Bodies Institute, which is a nonprofit Indigenous-led research organization, they began counting and mapping the missing and murdered cases over the past few years. They were staggering numbers. They documented 2,306 missing Native American women and girls in the United States.
That I've never heard of.
According to the data analyzed, 60% of the cases are homicides and 31% are girls 8.
Just never hear about it.
You don't. It's just the little white blonde girls that you hear about, right, unless parents can scream loud enough and get enough of a crowd going to get enough publicity and social media going to get the media, the mainstream media interested. And
not just get interested, stay interested.
Yes. And Ashley's sister Kimberly has fought so hard to do this. According to the U.S. Justice Department, on some reservations, Native American women are murdered at a rate more than...
Are you serious?
Yeah. More than 80% of Native women experience violence in their lifetime.
That is astounding.
And we have this jurisdictional maze that has really helped meth take hold on some of these reservations as well. Meth take hold on some of these reservations as well, because tribal police can't arrest and prosecute. They have to wait for a deputy to arrive if it's a non-tribal member. It's this whole confusing jurisdiction. maze.
It's incredible.
And it's hard to get a reliable count on the exact number of missing and murdered Indigenous women because researchers find that women are often misclassified. And
I see. Okay.
So they're often misclassified mainly as Hispanic or Asian on missing person forms. So that's where it starts. And then compounding that, thousands have been left off of federal missing persons databases.
Why? Why?
I'll give you an example. In 2016, there were 5,712 missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and only 116 of them were logged into the Department of Justice database. Is the reservation that we'll be talking about today, where Ashley went missing, there are only 18 tribal officers for 1.5 million acres.
Jesus.
So it's a longstanding problem that's linked to the inadequate resources to complete and very confusing jurisdictional maze. I mean, there are 3 different governments who are responsible for protecting public citizens in Native country. So we have the federal government, we have the state government, and we have the tribal government.
So talk about red tape upon red tape upon red tape.
Exactly.
Upon red tape upon
red tape. Exactly. I mean, you know, if I go missing here, if I go missing, say when I'm over in a few towns over when I'm at CrossFit, you've got those police arguing and pushing back and saying, because I live in this city, this police force needs to be investigating it, but this city's police force would say, no, they need to be investigating it because she disappeared in their jurisdiction. So you already have a layer of government in, and I think everything just compounds a problem that's already there. So due to a Supreme Court ruling and acts of Congress, most tribes can only charge their own members with a crime. So they can't arrest anyone else who commits a crime on their land. Right.
That is so outrageous. It is our land. All of it was ours in the first damn place. And now you're telling me because they're non-tribal members and they break the law on this land that I can't arrest them?
Right.
That makes me real mad.
And it can take hours for them to get a deputy onto the reservation to arrest someone. Right. And even once that happens, most tribes are barred from charging anyone, including their own members, with major crimes like rape or murder. Those cases have to be handled by the federal agency like the BIA and the FBI. But University of Kansas professor Sarah Deer, who is...
keep talking. I'm getting a glass. I can't. You can't do the shit on your own property. Your own. Oh gosh. Okay. Just don't mind me. Just eating a glass. This is making me so mad. So glug glug glug. Hope you can hear that.
When you opened to get the glass out, I thought that was your refrigerator, and I'm like, it's in the wall. like you had a special wine refrigerator.
I wish. I would love one, but there is absolutely no place in this teeny tiny kitchen to put anything like that. It'd have to go in my room. And then I'd never be heard from again.
You'd never leave your room?
Never.
So University of Kansas professor Sarah Deer, who is the author of The Beginning and End of Rape, Confronting Sexual Violence in Native America, and is a member of the Creek Nation, states that Native women have long been considered invisible and disposable in society, and those vulnerabilities attract. And those vulnerabilities attract predators.
Sounds familiar to this Black lady.
I'm seeing it in a lot of the Indigenous cases that I've been researching for this podcast. So now let's talk about Ashley.
Okay.
Feisty is the word most used to describe the 5'2" Ashley.
Love it.
Her best friend says she's strong, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. She was very close with siblings, and that includes half brothers and sisters. Okay. She and her older sister, Kimberly, were raised at first with their mom and then spent a brief time in foster care before coming to live on their grandparents' farm. Okay. It's said that she learned to ride a horse before a bike. Horse before a bike.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
I just picture her. She's probably so beautiful.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Good.
You can just see her spirit shining through in the pictures. There are a lot of pictures. There's a lot of video in the pictures. There are a lot of pictures. There's a lot of video of her that her family has that they've shared in an effort to keep her in the spotlight. And you can definitely, she's got this beautiful smile.
Yeah.
Ashley's grandmother says she was a Ashley's grandmother says she was a good kid who never caused any trouble. She was a star athlete in high school, and she had a contagious smile.
She sounds like a total badass, man. Like somebody you'd want to know.
Feet Community College.
Oh, so she was out here trying to change the world. Okay.
And she was eventually going to transfer on to university. She was outgoing, she was smart, she was beautiful. But the death of her beloved grandfather and the breakup of her first relationship sent her spiraling.
Oh, no.
Lost 2 major support systems back to back.
Ugh.
And as a recovered alcoholic, I can totally get that. She was so young, and the rug was just yanked out from under her twice.
My goodness. Oh, that's horrible.
You try to dull the pain with alcohol and more still. Because while you're drinking, there's just that brief place where you can forget.
Yeah. It's, I know what it's like to be in one of those types of holes.
She also started doing drugs. Nor do they mean she doesn't deserve to be found and reunited with her family. Her life still matters.
Exactly. Addiction does not mean that you don't deserve to be happy, to live a prosperous life. And it certainly doesn't mean that whatever happened to Ashley, whatever happened.
Exactly. We all need help sometimes, and in different ways. Her case should have been taken seriously from the beginning. So let's go back to
heartbreak. It's going to be a lot of heartbreak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Heartbreak. Okay. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Heartbreak. Okay.
The nightmare started on June 5th, 2017, though no one realized at the time that's when it was going to start. God. Ashley reached out to her friends, asking for a ride into Browning from her grandparents' ranch. Okay. She was able to get a ride into town. She was able to get to the party that she wanted to go to. There's actually video footage of her that evening sitting on a couch, sipping a beer, talking to people. The evening sitting on a couch, sipping a beer, talking to people. Her older sister, Kimberly, was in Morocco visiting her fiance. She received a few text messages that night from Ashley, and Ashley asked her for money. Kimberly told her she couldn't because she was out of the country. It was okay, and got the response that she was fine, like she always was. So Kimberly took her at her word and didn't worry about her. After all, she was going to be back into town soon. The plan was that Ashley was going to help Kimberly move once she returned. to her grandparents' ranch that night or the next, and Kim's messages went without reply. But no one worried about this at first because Ashley sometimes would crash with friends, and she also had a habit of losing her phone. And we all have that one friend who always,
Exactly.
or like me, sunglasses.
Or just things in general. I'll be
Yes.
just cleaning around the house, and I'm like, now I know I had the Swiffer. Where did I put it? I'm just so, I don't know. Just go from one room to the next. I had the remote control. Oh, it's in the bathroom? Okay.
I will pick up the cordless phone to call my cell phone, and walk around the house listening for it.
Oh, for sure. I've had Kira like call, say, tell her, call my phone. I can't find it. And it'll be sitting on like the dining room table. Call my phone. I can't find it. And it'll be sitting on like the dining room table because I walked by and set it down.
Right. And but that you walked by while you were looking for it and didn't see it too.
Exactly.
It just happens. I still have a pair of glasses somewhere in this house. Trace. I got off the treadmill and I was like, wait, where was the last place I left my glasses? I couldn't remember, but I just knew they were gone like right away. Went upstairs, went downstairs. It wasn't like where I've done it before, where I've wandered all over the house for 10 minutes looking for my glasses, finally given up and been like, oh, looking for my glasses, finally given up and been like, oh, they're gone forever. I go down to wash my face in the sink and they fall off my fucking head. Into the water.
Oh my God.
That did not happen with this. That did not happen with this pair. This pair we still haven't found, and I lost them a year ago. So, I get it. We all, there was no reason
for it to be, out of the ordinary. People lose their phones and keys and everything all the time.
Oh, how many times do we see it on Facebook? If you're
yeah, exactly.
Send me a message on here.
I'm not ignoring you. I just can't find my phone.
This was not, so, this wasn't out of the ordinary until her father was hospitalized for liver failure. She didn't show up unanswered, and that was not like Ashley.
Yeah.
So Kimberly reached out to Ashley's friends and realized no one had seen her for weeks. Weeks. So by now it was the end of June.
Weeks. Almost.
Yeah, you can imagine the panic at that point. That how sick Kimberly must have been feeling. Just the utter panic at that point.
Yeah.
So when she reached out to the police, of course, she wasn't taken seriously. Basically told Ashley's an adult. She can disappear if she wants to. Completely shrugged off.
Yeah, but people don't just disappear because, that's so lazy. They're an adult and they can disappear if they want to. Yeah, but they don't usually.
Right.
People just don't, like, one day they're here and then the next day they've decided to pack up and, move to Antarctica or something. That doesn't happen.
She was taking college classes. She was enmeshed in her community. There was no go anywhere. She wasn't wanted by the law, so she was skipping town.
Exactly. She had just asked her sister for some money, so it's not like she's flush with cash to go somewhere. Where is she going with no money?
Exactly. Okay. So a witness came forward to say that they saw a young woman running from a vehicle on a desolate stretch of Route 89. This particular stretch of road is surrounded by swamp and dense forest. So the Tribal Bureau of Indian Affairs organized a 3-day search, but they found nothing. However, a gray sweater that was believed to be Ashley's was recovered by volunteers in a nearby dump.
Oh, God.
but authorities misplaced it.
No.
Yep. And it would be another 2 months before a proper investigation into Ashley's case was even started. So Kimberly became the detective. She organized
Let's go,
search
Kim.
parties,
Let's go.
some observation. And can we just talk about overall how badass Kimberly is? Because this isn't just like a walk in the hills of Poway. This is brush, combing through brush. This is fucking grizzly bears.
Let me tell you about love.
In the hills of Poway. This is brush, combing through brush. This is fucking grizzly bears.
Let me tell you about love. That is sisterly. That's sibling love. That's family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if it's me, it's been missing. We got to go look in the forest. First, I'm cussing you out because I'm gonna be like, who told her to go out in the forest anyway? But I guess I'm flying up there and I'm gonna traipse through these woods because I love her and I gotta find her.
Right. That's
and then when I find you, I'm cussing. It's like this. It's dark. Now we both lost, but at least we got each other. Because I don't know which way I came. I don't know which way I came. I don't know. I don't know how to get out of here. I'm glad I found you. We'll just be lost together.
Fire. It'll just be a little fire so they can find us and see us. And then it'll turn into a forest fire.
Exactly, because it's still hot as hell out here.
And dry. And
dry. It's all kindling. We got a little chilly at night. We're like, let's do a bonfire. We got a little chilly at night. We're like, let's do a bonfire. We found them. How'd you find them? Oh, the blaze alerted us on the hillside.
We found them standing in the middle of the 100 acres they burned down.
Listen, something moved. I said, we got to set it aflame. We got to burn it down. So that's love.
Browning, Montana has a population around 1,000 people. So it's kind of like Poway when we were growing up.
Yeah.
It's that small, people talk, right?
Right, exactly.
But Ashley's cousin said it was like Ashley went missing and suddenly no one was talking.
But it's one of your own in your community.
But someone from that community also was involved in the disappearance. So it's frustrating for the family, and she gets that people are scared, but the family's scared too.
Right. But what scared of what? Right. But what scared of what? People scared of who? Of what? That they wouldn't talk. It's not like, is it gang activity that they're afraid of? What's the fear?
On one of the searches, Kimberly found a tattered sweater and red lake house owned by Sam McDonald, who Kimberly says, and he admits, is one of the last people Ashley was with. Okay, Kimberly gave them to authorities for testing, but of course has not heard anything back.
Yeah.
Sam is in his 50s. If you Google him, he looks like your typical 50-year-old addict, right? Hard living has definitely aged him, and not well.
I was hoping you were going to say, yes, he looks like a typical Montana hot addict.
No.
And
he admits he and Ashley had partied for days. Then he claims on the morning of June 11th, 2017, he gave her a ride after she asked him to take her to a roadside pull-off so that someone named V-Dog could pick her up.
V-Dog. I mean,
so,
as far as street names go, that's kind of weak, but all right, it's Montana.
He pulled into a roadside pull-off.
And as far as street names go, that's kind of weak, but all right, it's Montana.
He pulled into a roadside pull-off. And he said because they'd been up for days, he leaned back in his car seat and fell asleep. Then when he woke up, well, I mean, I guess if you've been up for 3 straight days on meth, maybe that's what happens after. I don't know.
I don't know.
Done meth for 3 straight days.
I don't want to know.
I've never done meth at all.
I don't.
Sound like I had. I'm like, I've never done it for 3 straight
for an afternoon. After brunch on Sundays, I do go heavy on the meth, but 3 straight days, no. Don't. I couldn't tell you. Don't have that experience.
According to him, he looked for her after he woke. Figured at that point she must have gotten her ride with Paul Venezuela, a.k.a. V-Dog.
V-Dog.
V-Dog is also in his 50s and has a criminal record.
Don't give me nicknames. Don't do street nicknames in your face.
But at that point, it's kind of sad. I feel like...
You're just Paul. You're Paul. Paul. You're just Paul. Ain't no V-Dog. Paul.
At 40, you're just Paul.
I mean, that's like when you go to college and they're like, hey, it's Chase Dog. No, it's just Chase. Hey, it's Chase Dog. No, it's just Chase. It's just Chase. I'm a professional. I'm a grown-up now. Thank you. So Paul is Paul.
It's Paul. 50-year-old Paul.
V-Dog. You wouldn't ever catch me call a 50-year-old man.
He's got a criminal record that includes burglary and weapons convictions. And he split his time between Seattle and the Blackfeet Reservation. He was dating Ashley shortly before she disappeared, despite still being married to Running Crane, who is also known as T.
Okay.
I don't know how old she is, but everyone just calls her T, so that's what we're going to call her. So Paul filed for a divorce from T roughly a month after Ashley vanished. T claims she didn't know about their relationship until after Ashley went missing.
Okay.
I don't know that I buy that ever, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're in that small community where everybody's talking, unless you're choosing to ignore what everyone's saying.
Yeah, people know.
Somebody would have told her.
They've seen Paul in together.
So 3 months after Ashley went missing, T posted this weird video on YouTube stating that Paul had Ashley and everyone knew it, but he was framing her for Ashley's disappearance. She removed that post later on.
So is this just some sort of like Instagram beef type thing? Like, I'm going to put you on blast on the internet to get your attention so we can get back together.
Why does she even want him after he'd been, whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean, that's, you know what?
She became his alibi, of course.
Of course.
So she claimed that they were in Seattle at the time that Ashley vanished. Court records do show that he was in the Seattle area in early June of 2017, but a report that was submitted from a corrections office says that on June 9th, he told Washington correctional authorities that he intended to return to the Blackfeet Nation in Montana to collect his belongings. That was just 2 days before McDonald claims Ashley got picked up by V-Dog on the side of a reservation. Ashley got picked up by V-Dog on the side of a reservation road. And so that places him there when Sam McDonald states he was dropping Ashley off for a ride with him. So then it becomes like, well, that's off That's an awfully big coincidence that Sam would just pull that out of his. That's an awfully big coincidence that Sam would just pull that out of his proverbial ass as his alibi.
But they're all on meth.
Right.
So I'm feeling like remembering details, it's probably not like their strong suit. So for this guy to say, yeah, I took her for a ride and she was going to meet this V-Dog person. And then I passed out, woke up, couldn't find her. So she must have gotten the ride with the dude. So I believe he was the
man
the
you
girlfriend.
refused to call.
I'm not doing it.
Paul. So you think Sam was actually...
I think he's telling the truth.
Right. Well, because why would he put himself?
Yeah, you would make sure you are not involved in any way, shape, or form. Never seen her. I've gone blind. I can't drive. All of the things. You wouldn't. You would say all of the things to not be involved in this.
The meth made me blind.
Exactly. I'm blind. I'm deaf. I can't speak English. I don't. I can't speak English. I don't.
No,
I don't know anything. I don't know.
So Paul wrote to Nightline from prison, promising he could reveal who, and I'm going to quote him, did all this to Ashley. Trust me, I am the only one who can. Did all this to Ashley. Trust me, I am the only one who can.
I'm tired. You know what? I'm tired of the people that say, you just wait. I've got the evidence. And when you see it, you're going to be blown away.
You'll know soon enough.
Blown away.
You'll know soon enough.
You better,
former president.
Better show the evidence. You are in jail. Show the evidence. Where is it? So that you can get out of jail.
Would only do it if he was transferred to a different prison. But ABC News can't. So, of course, he refused to speak to them at that point.
So I would rather stay in jail when I have the evidence to exonerate myself. Man, you're not making any sense. Shut up.
Kimberly basically feels like it's sort of she didn't use the words ping pong game, but this is what I'm like, back and forth. So Sam points to Paul and T. Mm-hmm. Paul points to T. T points to Paul. Rinse and repeat. So you're pinging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And of course, the family's hearing horrible rumors about terrible things that were done to her.
Yeah, because no one knows anything.
It would be 9 months before the FBI took over the case.
9 months?
Yeah. And between the missing sweater, the botched evidence, the officer who started a relationship with one of the prime suspects and was leaking information.
Hold on. Don't just dash past that. What?
Main investigating officer started a relationship with one of the prime suspects and was leaking information to that suspect.
Can you just keep it in your goddamn pants long enough to try to find this girl? My God. To try to find this girl. My God. Just...
The FBI was basically starting from not even square one, from like square minus 100.
Square minus 9 months.
Square minus 9 months. Very accurate. So they took over in 2018. Supposedly they searched a trailer that Paul and T frequented, but the family was skeptical and they pushed back. So in June of 2018, they were granted permission to search it on their own. Mm-hmm. And they found what appeared to be a rather large blood. So they cut the piece of carpet out, put it in a plastic bag, and handed it to authorities to hopefully get tested.
Yeah.
And I say hopefully because remember the sweater and boots still weren't tested that we know of.
I mean, the sweater got lost, right? One of the sweaters got lost.
Because they're
Who
not
knows?
telling them. And again, that's part of the frustration. Like, even I get that this is still an open case and you need to preserve evidence, but tell the family, yes,
Right.
we DNA tested it, but we cannot tell you what the results were because we're going to need that in court. Like, it's fine.
Right.
Why can't you tell them that? So that
Give
you're
them
at least
some
communicating
sort of
with them.
information. Just, okay.
Ashley wasn't even added to NamUs until 18 months after.
People are going to get tired of hearing me sigh, but I
don't know if they'd be drinking more if they drank every time you sighed or every time I said so.
Just, my God, 18 months.
So the Lorings are doing all the claims,
Mm-hmm.
and they turn everything, every lead over to law enforcement, every piece that they find of anything gets turned over.
Right.
And they receive nothing back, no updates. Media pressed the FBI. The FBI stated that the evidence they've been given has been DNA tested, but they can't discuss results because it's an open case. Well, that's fine, but why couldn't you have told the family that? Why did you have to wait until the media got involved and asked you?
Yeah, I mean, because
wait until the media got involved and asked you.
Yeah, I mean, because they've been sitting here all this time just trying to get anything, any sort of information, just to say, yeah, it was tested, something.
The family feels like they know who was responsible. And they're frustrated that they still don't have justice.
I can imagine. They probably do have someone, a suspect.
We talked about 3 of them, and I feel like finding out your husband cheating on you with this gorgeous young girl and the fact that you're all on drugs, you could lose your temper.
Probably. Maybe she found them. Who knows what but in my opinion, it feels like, yeah.
But again, it wasn't taken seriously from the very beginning. So it's hard to go backwards and get it now.
Because you're not, I don't think you're dealing with criminal masterminds. I'm sure there are so many clues and evidence. In my opinion, if it's Paul and T, that they were so thorough that there's nothing, I find that hard to believe.
Me too. We're not talking about people who are sober and high functioning and covering their tracks and career, criminals who've gotten away with it. I mean, he has a criminal record because he hasn't gotten away with it. So the family continues to search for Ashley. I mean, what else are they going to do? Maybe once they had to search for Ashley, I mean, what else are they going to do? Maybe once they have her back, maybe they'll have answers. On June 12th, they held their annual Ashley's Walk. It's not just to honor Ashley. It's a 2-day event, which also brings awareness to other cases of Indigenous people and offers a time of healing.
They also need answers.
They do.
They deserve it.
Kimberly told Ashley when they were kids, we have to stick together, never leave her, and if she was going to go anywhere, I would find her. So she continues to mount searches on her own with any help she can find, desperate to keep that promise to her sister.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Anyone with information on Ashley's whereabouts is asked to call the Salt Lake City FBI at 801-579-1400 FBI, or you can go to tips.fbi.gov. You can follow the Find Ashley Facebook page to offer support and to keep updated on the case. Find Ashley Loring /HeavyRunner. And I'll put all of these links on our Facebook page under the link to the story.
Let's find Ashley, everybody. I don't know how we can do it. Her sister refuses to give up the fight, so we shouldn't give up either.
We need to be joining her.
Mm-hmm.
You can donate money towards the searches. You can just post on the page and offer Kimberly emotional support. You can share her story. You can share support. You can share her story. You can share her pictures. You can show Kimberly that, like her, we're not forgetting Ashley either.
Absolutely. And with that,
I know we were trying to come up.
I grew a strawberry.
A strawberry, and no one got to it?
Well, this is the one that they haven't gotten to, so I'm hoping to pick it and eat it today. So, happy news.
Oh no. Be there now.
I know, I look at it, I'm like, I should really pick it now, because the birds are really just going to eat it. They've eaten all of them. My little teeny tiny strawberries.
Well, your dogs
suck
at keeping the birds out of the yard.
Oh, you know why? Because they're asleep in the house with the fans blowing on them. That's why. The birds have taken over the backyard because they live in comfort. I'll let everybody know how the strawberry was, if it's still there.
Yay, strawberries.
Yay, strawberries. And with that,
we will see you next
week.
Wish
you all a good night or day or whenever you're listening to this, and please stay safe out there.
If they look crazy, hit them with your car.
Exactly. Don't take any chances. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm Dee Dee.
And I'm Jen. And this is
Murder on My Street. Okay, Jennifer, it's a hot-ass day. What tragedy? Where are we at for the awfulness that you are about to tell me about?
Today we are somewhere on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in northwest Montana.
Ooh.
The reservation spans 1.5 million acres.
I thought you were going to say 1.5 miles. I'm like, that's not a lot.
And that would definitely be something